sports review, and every Saturday I know you'll be glued to your sets to know what is happening, what has happened from Monday to Friday, where we'll be here to digest and analyze the issues that have been going on. I know you've been monitoring the chant. Yesterday, the Mediterranean boys drew 1-1 with the Black Stars. We'll be looking at, we'll be sending to South Africa. We'll be talking to our tournament correspondent, Benedict Owusu Kwesidankwa, the man who is far back in South Africa, doing all the reports for us, and that's another opportunity for him to do that for us. And we'll be looking at Kwesi Nyantakyi's statement. Hey, the Graphic Sports said it all, and the FA has rebutted it. What is the issue? We started discussing this issue here since last Saturday, that which players will be selected for the Black Stars. Kwesi Appiah says that players who are inactive, one, if you don't have a club and you don't play regularly, then you are not going to be included in a Brazil 2014 squad. But certain people, certain players will be given the honors to be excluded, to be included in a team. A certain Michael Essien, who has, if he has no club, if he's not playing, will be included. For Dauda, if he has a club and is not being active, will be included. A certain Majid Abdul Waris will be included if he has no club. These are exclusions. But in an interview with Bokweto on the Graphic Sports, I don't know, specifically from what Kwesi Nyantakyi said, it means that the FA will interfere with certain players who will not be active or with clubless. You might have a club, but will not be playing regularly, or they will be clubless. The FA says that they will join in that decision. That's from what the interview says. The report comes out quickly. There is a rebuttal. We're trying to get that particular piece for us to read it out to you, so you can also read it, the meaning into such things. There is no way. I mean, maybe Opari and James will start battling it out here. Opari said there's no way Kwesi Appiah's selection will be free from the FA interfering. What do you also think? This is going to be major. The chant is going to be major. We'll be sending you, since our team of correspondents far back in South Africa, Benedict Owusu, Tosh Walanyo is also there for our sister station at Sempa. All they'll be bringing us, we'll be giving some highlights. Hey, what is happening in the camp of the Black Stars? Yesterday, we didn't get an opportunity to watch. It was a 1-1 game. And the Tennis Association, what has happened? They refused, they couldn't raise $12,000, $12,500. A philanthropist in the person of McDonald shipping paid $10,000 with $2,500 remaining, but they still couldn't pay, and they've withdrawn the affiliation. And is it that we are not part of ITF anymore? You can't even understand what is the sports ministry doing. This and many more. Brazil is just around the corner. And the budget still, we're finding out whether the sports ministry has sent it to the government to approve. We are still waiting whether Brazil will really be a dream. We're sending it straight to South Africa, as I just said. We'll be talking to the supporters, the likes of Guntu, who are far back from Millennium Supporters Union. They are far back there, supporting the Black Stars. Should Maxwell Kunedu fail, does it mean that some are saying that it should be a yardstick for him to be kicked out of the Black Star? Should we judge? Should this be a litmus test for Maxwell Kunedu in the local on the Black Stars? Let me go for a commercial break. When I come back, we'll go straight to Benedict Owusu Dankwa, our tournament correspondent, Chan 2014. I think Benedict is now the South Africa general, the South African specialist. So, any tournament in South Africa, multimedia, we'll give it to Benedict. Let me go for a commercial break. When I come back, straight into action. Ben. Right, thank you very much. The debate is already on, and James already says he will comment. Opari raised certain issues last week, and rather unfortunate. But before we go there, let me send you straight to Chan, South Africa, to be specific. Bloemfontein and the greeting, maybe when I went to South Africa, is it okay? Let me go to Benedict. Maybe he will greet me in South Africa. Benedict, good morning.
Good morning.
How do you say it in South African language?
Okay, good morning here. It was even just yesterday that some little friend I have here taught me how to greet in South Africa.
Hey, you have a little friend already.
She speaks. Sorry.
You have a little friend already in South Africa.
Oh yes, I have a little friend here. Actually, she's a Ghanaian.
Okay.
She's turning 15 God willing next week Friday.
Oh, okay.
My hotel is just to put in their flat, so
okay.
Normally I go to their place.
So what do you say, Siabonga? You say Siabonga.
It's a long time since they came to Ghana, so you just tell them what's happening in Ghana and also tell us more about South Africa.
So Benedict, you say is it Siabonga?
Yes, Siabonga. No, Siabonga means how are you? No, welcome or something like that.
Oh, okay. So what do you say?
I'm here to learn, so I'll get more advice when I come to.
Oh, okay. Let's shift attention to the channel. Yesterday, after we had it was a 1-1 draw. How was the feeling? What was the reaction in camp? Technically, team players, supporters.
Well, after yesterday's game, straight away we went for the press conference, and Coach Maxwell Kennedy and Jordan Puku were those that represent Ghana. And for Maxwell Kennedy, he sounded so optimistic that despite the setbacks yesterday, they're still going to qualify to the next stage of the competition. The match itself, he wasn't so much impressed about the team's performance, but what he noted and pointed out was that judging by the two performances, that the previous one we played, our first game we played against Congo, and this one, the boys performed far better than the first one. Even though we won the first one, he said the performance in the first game wasn't that good as compared to this one. So he was okay with the performance he saw from his players, or what these players gave up out on the field yesterday. It's just that, the first half they played very well, which we could have even finished the game in the first half. You can count some chances that came our way, but we were not able to utilize it. The second half, when we came, we played absolutely nothing. The Libyans were on top, and I was even shocked and surprised that they could not even beat us in the second half. Even when the equalizer came, I thought more goals was going to fill it because we were not playing anything. Our defense was just in a total mess, especially Nurishine. I don't know if it was just that yesterday was his day, or just that the tournament is bigger than him. Or I know most Accra folk fans wouldn't agree with me, but yesterday Nurishine didn't play anything for me. I wonder why Maxwell Kennedy, for a very long time, he's been playing the central defense of Kwame Eduse and a big way, and when it comes to games like this, he wouldn't use them and rather will go for Kwame Eduse and Nurishine. Yesterday, you realize Nurishine, even before the penalty, he was in control of the ball. He waited for the Egyptian, the Libyan player to overtake him, get a ball before he tripped him, and it was so unnecessary on that point. And it caused a lot of fouls, which they were free and blindside to it. And if that was all those infringements had gone in favor of the Libyans, maybe it would have been disastrous for Ghana yesterday. In a whole, for me, the team played very well in the first half, but second half, their performance was nothing to write home about. And I pointed it out to the coach that so if that's how we're going to continue, is he optimistic that we won't make it to the knockout stages? And he said that, well, at least we have a point. We didn't lose the match. So all that they have to do is to put this one behind them and prepare and go in the game against Ethiopia so hard to get a result to ensure that they qualify to the next stage of the competition. But if you ask me about my opinion of the game yesterday, I wasn't too impressed about the team's performance, seriously. The first half, they played very well. I'll single out Yaya Mohammed. He was exceptional, outstanding. But the second half, it was a disaster.
It was a disaster. That's what I was drumming since the team started preparing, and they've never been impressive. But looking at the penalty yesterday, were there some agitations? Because the commentators all over were saying that there were question marks over the penalty awarded the Libyans. Was there any agitation from the technical team as well?
From where I was sitting, even before I go on to the technical team, from where I was sitting, and after watching the replay on the screen, it was a clean penalty.
Okay.
It was a clean penalty. And for me, our player should have even been sent out. He should have been given a straight red card. Because you as a defender, you don't wait while you're in control of the ball for your opponent to get a ball. Then you hold his leg. It's not that he held the leg of the Libyan player in the penalty box. So it was a clean penalty. I even asked Mr. Nyantichi after the game, was like, yes, it was a clean penalty. He initially thought it wasn't a penalty, but after watching the replay, it was a clean penalty for him. And even our player was so lucky, to have not been sent out on that occasion. But for me, it was a clean penalty. Max Oknudu also admitted that it was a penalty. But just some of the journalists in the stadium, the Ghanaian journalists that I spoke to, that were saying that it wasn't a penalty. Definitely, they would say things that would go in favor of Ghana. But to be very sincere and to be very objective, it was a clean penalty awarded in the
Clean penalty, you spoke about Nuru Sule being shambolic, being a disaster, being a calamity. Let's look at Sule. What is happening to Alfred Nelson, who could be a better replacement to Sule?
I asked Coach Max Oknebi this same question that you asked, and he pointed out clearly that, well, when he was coming for this particular tournament, he drew a strategy. Every position, not less than 2 players. And I mentioned Alfred Nelson's name, and according to Coach Max Oknebi, Alfred Nelson, and even Alfred himself confirmed to me that he wasn't feeling well ahead of this tournament. Some bit of malaria attack. And so, prior to our first game, he was in contention for a starting lineup, but because he wasn't feeling well, he had to drop off to the bench. But in yesterday's game, still Alfred wasn't part of the lineup. He trained and he was okay, but Coach Max Oknebi, according to him, told us that he is in charge of the team and he will tell who will play at a certain time. So if the player is not playing and he's on the bench, well, we should all just keep quiet and see what he will do. After all, what is important is that winning the game and getting the 3 points to ensure that we qualify. So if player A or player B plays and we win, or if player B plays and we lose, and player B plays and we lose, it's going to be the same thing. So all that we have to do is just keep our calm and see what he's doing. But for me, Alfred also pointed out to me that he was not feeling too well. So maybe it's based on his health. But even in the press conference, our press conference part of the game, maybe asked him, and he said all the players are fit. So I really find it difficult why Alfred is not playing. But maybe it's just by the coach's decision. So wait and see what happens in the third game.
Okay, shifting attention, we have Coach Senior Black Stars coach, Coach Kwesiapi, and I know you've been watching. He has watched so far 2 games. Any prospects from this chance squad that could easily join the Boga Black Stars?
Straight away, I can point out that Yaya Muhammad and Stephen Adams are the 2 players likely to join the Black Stars. Yaya Muhammad has been exceptional in this tournament. Yesterday's game, you could see, if you watched it on TV, that Yaya was the man of the moment. He was in control for the Ghana team. You realized when he picked up an injury and when he was pulled out, everything ceased. The engine ceased and no player could handle on the ball. So Yaya Muhammad, for me, I think can make it to the proper Black Stars for the World Cup. And also goalkeeper Stephen Adams, his confidence is there. I mean, he goes in when he had to go in. He stayed when he had to stay. And I think these are players that, we can rely on going into the World Cup. We've already and always been complaining about goalkeeping. And this is a major issue here in South Africa. So if you go on the street and you ask Ghanaians here about, players, you will not even ask them. As soon as you see that you're a journalist from Ghana, they start. That goalkeeper at Orlando Pirates, definitely they are referring to Fatau Dauda. He's not keeping. He's not too good for you guys to take him to the World Cup. You should want Coach Kwesiapi not to take him to the World Cup. You have good goalkeepers. Look at the goalkeeper for the local Black Stars, Stephen Adams. He's very good. Why don't we try goalkeepers like that? So for me, I think that Stephen Adams, from what I've seen so far, Stephen Adams and Yaya Mohammed stands a better chance of joining the Black Stars proper for the World Cup. But we are yet to speak to Coach Kwesiapi. You know how Ghanaians are, and the things that normally Ghanaians will say when they see him in the camp. Maybe people might think that he's interfering. So Coach Kwesiapi, what he has planned to do is now he's staying away from the team. You hardly see him even in the team hotel, and the stadium, you see him far somewhere that it becomes very difficult to even locate him to talk to him after the game. So, but we are still trying our best to see if we can get him for him to tell us the players that he thinks or he spent down to join the proper Black Stars for the World Cup. But for me, and from what I've seen in our 2 games, I think that Stephen Adams and Yaya Mohammed can easily join the Black
So,
Stars.
Benedict, watching with your own technical eye, you think that Yao Mohammed and Steven Adams could make the squad into Coach Kosiapia? That's the opinion. Maybe later when you talk to Kosiapia. How the supporters, let's finalize it with the supporters and the game plan against Ethiopia. They've lost it all. They've been sent packing by Congo. What is the game plan and how the supporters as well are cheering the team in South Africa?
Well, I must commend the supporters, especially the Millennium supporters. They've done tremendously well. They came in their numbers here, and you know, if there is any thanks, we should thank them. They've done so well, and yesterday at the stadium, they joined some South Africans to cheer the team. Even when things were not going well, they were still on their feet, drumming and dancing in the stadium throughout the 90 minutes. They did very well, and you know, even speaking to some of the players, they really appreciated what the fans did for them yesterday, because they realized the second half wasn't going well. But when they always raise their heads into the stands and see the supporters playing their drums and dancing, I mean, it really spurred them on not to even concede a goal for us to lose the game. So for the supporters, and speaking to some of the supporters too on our chances of qualifying, to be sincere with you, most of them think that we have to do something. If we don't do something right, as in Coach Maxwell is doing some things right, we won't be able to qualify. You know, it's so simple. The first game, they saw it, the second one, but there's been an improvement from the first game. But because we didn't win this game, then we drew. People will still refer to what happened in the first game as, oh, they didn't play anything. But for some of the majority of the supporters here are optimistic that we will make it. But for some few supporters, some think that it won't be possible for us to qualify. And one funny thing that happened in yesterday's game, Tony, you know, before the game, a supporter, a Ghanaian fan, came onto the field, not on the field, in the stands, and he was waving an MPP flag. And just when the match was about to begin, I saw the police people escorting him outside the stadium. So that was actually what I captured. A Ghanaian fan waving an MPP flag.
An MPP flag in the stands.
Sorry, Tony.
You said an MPP flag?
Yes, an MPP flag.
Okay.
And the police went straight to him and picked him up and threw him out of the stadium. I actually tried to follow to see what was going to happen, but I didn't see the fan again. So, but that's what happened. And yesterday, I'm sure you also captured the incident about the referee who had to be substituted after picking up a knee injury.
Oh, okay. So, Benedict, if you are still on, finally, what do you have for your viewers and all those who are following you and your good stories that you're sending down?
Well, Tony, you know, we have to say thanks to Africa Origin Travel and Tours. They made our travel here possible. They've been very supportive since we came to South Africa. All our traveling in and around South Africa, they've been very, very supportive. And also, just to say thanks to Jim Ray, also, they've also been supportive, sponsoring us all the way from Ghana to South Africa. A lot of the sponsors, if the time will permit me, let me just acknowledge GB Power as well, and Zibnet, and you know Zibnet is a residential internet service provider, and also FPAC dealership in Away. We also being supported by Sinapi, Baltic Coolpack, and Takana Intex Limited. So all these companies are making it possible for us to bring Ghanaians live interviews, the behind the scenes, and all the things that are happening here. And we promise to deliver, you know, from now till Tuesday. Our next game against Ethiopia is on Tuesday. That match will be played in the evening. It's South African time 7, Ghana 5.
Okay.
South African time 7, Ghana 5.
Okay.
That's going to be our next game. And we are playing it here in Bloemfontein. That's the Magawan Free State Stadium. But most Ghanaians here are praying that, and especially the journalists who came here, are praying that we will top our goods so that we continue to stay here and play the quarterfinals. Because if we win, if we top our group, we'll stay here in Bloemfontein and play the quarterfinals. The 2 semi-final games will be played here. So then it means that we're going to stay through to the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. It's only the final in the third place match that will be played in Cape Town. So all that we are praying is that the local Black Stars will be able to beat Libya, will be able to beat Ethiopia so that we top our group. So now, as it stands now, Ethiopia are out because they've lost 2 games. They lost their first game against Libya by 2 goals. Just yesterday, Congo also defeated them by a goal. So Ethiopia, they are out. And the battle now is between Ghana, Congo, and Libya. And what makes it more interesting for us is that because Ethiopia are out, most people are predicting that they wouldn't come attack and play very hard, unlike if Congo had lost. Now, Congo, they are third with 3 points. So the match between Congo and Libya will be a very, very cracker because the two sides all will need a win. What the Libya needs is a draw to just qualify, but Congo will need a win. So that's a match to watch. But Ghana, we just have to hope and pray that we do the Ethiopian so that at least we top the group and continue to stay here and do something into the quarterfinals and semi-finals.
Right, Benedict, thank you very much, and we'll get back to you anytime on a sports link and as well on a sports arena. So just stand by. So greetings to Wallace, my own brother, and Tosh, everybody there. Okay, that was Benedict also talking to us, but we're sending you straight to South Africa ahead of the game, and also what the fans. I mean, that is my part. So if my director is ready, just give me what the fans had for Ghanaian fans ahead of the Libya game.
We should pray for them so that they will win. Ghana, the Blaster team need our prayers. So we should pray and let the team win to qualify to the quarterfinals.
For the fans, how many are you here?
We are 20. We are 20 in number. Millennium Supporters Union of Ghana.
Are you expecting some more fans or this it?
12 will come tomorrow. They will reach Joburg tomorrow morning. So I think by tomorrow in the evening, they will be first.
Okay, so definitely they will be here to see the second game against Libya.
Bahamas, you hear the sound of trumpets in the stand. And then this sound, you see, sometimes we do rely on the Ghanaians outside. We don't have to rely on them at all because some of them have been here since Papa Shamu's time. All the songs that they are singing, it is a cake, old songs. So we decided that we should let's join the South Africans because they can make a lot of noise. When we asked Delali, he told us that even if they are playing, they go to the Celtic team. They are fans. They are special. They can sing and sing. We learn a lot. All we learn from them. We realize that no, with them we can move forward. So I think it is good that we join the South Africans. But if all our members come, I think they will come and join us now because they don't have trumpets. So if they hear the trumpet sounding in the stands, they will ask us that what is this, and we tell them.
So have you been able to make contact with some of the fans here, the Ghanaians who are living here in South Africa?
A lot, but they are not doing well. They are not doing well in their songs. All the songs that they used to sing is about Rose, Rose. Those songs is old, 1911 song. We need current songs like Aye, 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 Aye. See, all these songs motivate current Boga blasters. This one, they are local blasters. The Boga blasters, if you sing this kind of songs to them, they are always happy. So this team, I'm praying to them. And when I see their faces, they look so mobilistic way. But we are going to let them know that no, since we are behind them, they should cheer up, they should feel free, they should feel at home. We shall do things for them to make sure they progress to quarterfinals.
So what would you tell those that are watching you back home, your family and the fans that are home? What would you tell them?
All of them tell them that they should pray to local blasters. They should pray for the supporters. We are all here enjoying ourselves, having fun.
Oh, my name is Joseph Tego, aka Baby Joe. I'm national motivator, and my boss too is there. His name Langabe, but I'm a national motivator. But let me thank Mishuga. They are doing their best. They are doing very good work in Ghana here. No supporter union here, but Mishuga is here. Malaria Supporters Union. God bless you. They are doing very good. Guntu and Coloso and Polo. God bless my chairman and my minister here. You don't know, my name is Ojo Mensu, the whole Ghana. Mishuga bring me here to come and give the boys confidence. By the grace of God, I'm with the players. Yesterday I pray that God give me luck so that we get one goal, then we'll qualify. Look at the goal. Anapuna goal. Take somebody 9, Panya to go. God with our...
Sports Review is the best place you get all this and I mean, Ojo Bensu, that's how they call him. I heard Guntu is on the line, but quickly, let me just, spoken to Guntu already. I heard Guntu, good morning. Right, unfortunately, we've missed him. So at this time, we've missed him. Let me welcome our guest. And I know if you just join us, we are looking at Kwesi teacher's statement. There's been a rebuttal. Let's stay up. Last weekend, if you watch the show, there was that discussion that how are we going to get people into the Black Star? Which players? I mean, I'll give you the opportunity to name. We need 24 players for the Black Stars now. We're not talking about the backup team, but let's look at 24 players. Who do you think will make the squad? Because there will be debate. Who is playing? There are certain players who are playing consistently with top clubs, but they've never been invited to play. There's one, Kwame Kwanzaa, an excellent player. There's another player. I'll be mentioning all the names. Players who have been consistent. And I think that quickly, we need to look at it. And there's been that debate that Kwesi Nyantakyi says they will interfere in the Black Stars selection. But he's denying it because after the report, but when you read it critically, read across the lines, maybe my analyst here, James Oyedeji already seated here. He's not a grandfather. And let me quickly take a minute from Guntu. Guntu, good morning.
The wise grandpa.
Guntu?
Yeah, hello, Tony.
How are you doing?
You are doing great.
I just saw your interview. You were singing so well. So against Ethiopia, we saw...
Yeah. Sometimes if Ghana rely on Ghanaians living in wherever Ghana is playing, it is very bad because we have to go and learn a song from the South Africans, the Zulus. They give us very good songs like Timbambambola, Timbambambola, you see, Ghanaians, instead of them to sing songs that will motivate the players, they are singing a cake song, 1911 songs. Songs that is in the 70s. So we have to let the South Africans give us moral booster. So anytime we are doing that song, the players are happy.
Okay. So going to quickly, I mean, I know you get into South Africa. It was made possible by certain organizations. Quickly mention them, so I will take leave of you.
Oh, it was good that we had a very good organization like African Origin Travel and Tours and then Travel Matters. They did very well. You see, there are a lot of travel and tours, but these two agencies have really shown that they are doing very great.
Okay.
You see, so this is what we are going to see. Now, by the grace of God, we have 25 members of the Millennium here. Okay. We have 4 INSU members here. We have 1 grade 2. We have Proso. They are 3. We have Nasat, the stadium at Kumasi. They brought 1. Then 1, 2 is from Golden Age. Okay. They also got 3. Then Heroes, 1 came. So I think the supporters are realized that they can't leave only the Millennium supporters alone to be cheering the team. So now they're also coming one after the other. Okay, Guntu. You said it all in an interview. Our correspondents will be talking to you so much. And we like the way Millenniums, we saw you on telly cheering. So greetings to Colozo, Emma Oman, 4040 Polo. 4040 is just beside me. 4040 is here. Say something 4040. Oh, no shaking.
Polo.
Ghana, we are going to take the cup, inshallah.
Polo.
Say something, Colozo. Yeah, we are going to win the cup, inshallah. Thank you very much. Tony Bebli, you can hear the morale and the supporters. We are very happy. Okay. We are cheering and doing everything. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Also, that was Millennium Supporters Union all far back in South Africa doing the support in there. So you had the interviews that we're looking at a chant yesterday's game. Benedict, our correspondent, believes that House of Folk central defender Noor Sule was shambolic, was a disaster, was a calamity. What do you also think? What is happening to Alfred Nelson? We hear he's down with malaria. Technically, tactically, the game seems not be working. But the man in charge is the assistant coach to the Black Stars, the senior Black Stars. Should this be a litmus test, a contest, a cross-section of football fanatics believe that if Coach Maswa Kunedu should fail, then he should be knocked out of the Black Star. Do you assent to that? I don't think so. What do you also think? Hey, because he's really exhibiting his tactical exploits alongside Coach Luthrot Dawuda. So, hey, what will happen? We'll look at a chance, quickly look at Kwesi Nyantakyi's statement. there's been a rebuttal from the Ghana football. I think that the graphic sports must also come back. But I think that my colleague Ebukweto wrote an excellent story. You look at the Q&A, and I think that he was on track. That Kwesi Nyantakyi's bombshell. Because the FA is surely going to interfere. Opari said this earlier on from the analysis, from what Kwesi Appiah said. And I even said that Kwesi Appiah is now a man of double standard. Who is going to play in the Black Stars? The criteria, the definition, it's not clear. Let me welcome my guest right into the studio. James Edeji.
Yes, Tony Bebli. People are watching our show.
Definitely.
From Abelempe, more than 10 people call me that, quickly go, we are watching you.
Definitely, this is the show. And Opari, welcome to the show.
Yes, thanks, Tony.
Whatever you say, I think that people monitor the show, and whatever we say on a weekend like this, it makes wave. Kwesi Nyantakyi's bombshell, I know it came from what we said here, where the lines were not clear. But let's look at the chance score. James, let me start from James. Yes. James, yesterday you watched the game against Libya. Were you impressed technically?
I was not. I've never been impressed with that team. I heard your commentary with Benedict when they played against Mali.
In a friendly.
You were very clear. We made it very clear that the Wafu team was a disaster. This team too is a more disastrous team than. So merging the two, we couldn't get a good team. And I asked Mr. Akaba, the physiotherapist, what is the aim of parading two defenses? They said they thought they could get two quality players. I said it last week, but they couldn't. So why are we wasting our time? Master Cornelius should come home and partner Kwesi Appiah to prepare the Burger Blaster for the World Cup. That is his mission. He should stop all this child's play. That is why Nigeria refused to allow Stephen Keshi to go with the team. Everybody who is going to the World Cup should focus on the World Cup.
Keshi is there.
No, he didn't go with the team as a coach. Yeah. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that
he could have been behind Jordan
Lutrot. You should coach the boys
technical
for the
director.
Whatever, that's what I said. And Jordan Lutrot, please be adding Solomon to his name.
Solomon
the father is called Solomon. The father is called Solomon.
Muslim?
Yes, Muslim, but before he converted. So that is the issue. Because
Solomon Dauda Lutrot.
He writes it down that Lutrot Solomon. Okay. Because Solomon is the same name. So on a more serious note, I think the chant is just a diversion. That is my opinion.
So you side with Reverend Kofi?
Yes, we were together 2 days ago, and I told him my peace of mind. I told him my view, and he agreed with me. This is just a diversion. You see, the World Cup is such that if you are not well prepared, you hear what Klinsmann said? He said the Black Stars should be where? Because they are taking the match with the Black Stars.
First time happening times. Yes. Second time, coincidence. Yeah. Third time, enemy action. So there's no way Ghana will just override America.
No, what America is saying is that they are taking the Ghana match, only that match, as the final of the final. If they win, they stay in the competition. If they lose, they go home. Okay. That's their opinion.
Barry Chan, quick one on Chan before we get to your main issue.
Tony, good morning once again. Tony, I think on the Chan, I don't want to seem criticizing because people might think that we just want to criticize, which I always say that has never been the issue.
A Kotoko dominated Chan squad.
That is another side of the
with
criticism.
The Kotoko coach.
You understand?
Ex-Kotoko coach.
That is another side of the criticism. But that is not.
But yesterday's game, Benedict was saying some crowds of folks, Nuru Sule was shambolic.
Tony, I don't think it was. I am not defending Nuru Sule. You understand? If you look at on the left side, Tijani, then Nuru Sule and Edusei, their partnership, they did not see a lot of communication. You see, because the communication, they lacked communication between Nuru Sule, Stephen Adams in goal, Edusei as in the central man, and Tijani on the left side. They lacked so much communication, especially in the second half. That is how come.
So the bar stops at Nuru Sule. What are problems from the up front to the midfield?
It is because he committed that error. And I am sure he did commit that error because he did not see Edusei behind him. If he had seen Edusei behind him, he would have allowed the player to skip beyond him because he would have known that definitely
somebody
Edusei will deal with that situation. You understand? But it was because of lack of communication. And if you want to play football to the highest level and you lack communication, Tony, I don't see how you succeed. it is one of the areas that most African teams don't really do well, because most times when you play Europeans, their concentration level is as high as you can think of, right from the beginning till the end of every game. And once they get their concentration level very high, I can tell you that at all point in time, they keep going at every point in time. When you look at our team critically, in the second half, most of our passes did not go through. The reason being that every single player of the local Black Stars, right after the 60th minute, almost all of them, or I would say all of them, were tired. They didn't get any of their passes through. Then the final part, I mean the upfront, they were virtually dead because they didn't know where to run to. They were not able to run into spaces. They were not picking loose balls because the balls were not coming. So I was somehow confused, sitting back watching from a distance, that is it the same as Wekunedu that I have monitored closely for so long a time?
The assistant to Kosiapia in the senior.
Then I realized that probably he'll come back with excuses that he did not have enough training. He did not know the players well enough. That is probably why some of these minor mistakes might be coming in. We should not forget that the partnership between Eduse and Nurusule only started, I think, the last but one match to the WAFU tournament. That is when their partnership started. That was when most Ghanaians decided to speak so much against the partnership of Eduse and I forgot his name, one Kotoko defender. Then Maxwell decided that he needed to change because he felt that he needed somebody who is strong and calm to also help Eduse at the back. But I am afraid, Tony, because of lack of communication, that is why we have had problems here this way. If not, the goal the Libyans scored, which was disallowed, right? It was also lack of communication between Adams, Nurusule, and Eduse one more time. Because when Adams should have stood by to shout instructions to his defenders, he rather ran to them, wanting to shout instructions for them to allow him to pick the loose ball. You don't do that. That is why I find it strange that people somehow have started pointing fingers at Adams that he could be one of the players to play at the World Cup. I don't think he
you
has,
still have exceptions.
No, Tony, I don't think he has what it takes. He's still not there, and I don't think my personal opinion, I don't see any player in this squad that can play in our senior national team at the Brazil tournament. Tony, personally, for now, I don't see any player in the team.
Okay, so viewers, you also join us later when the phone lines are activated to find out from you whether you see any player, because our correspondent says that he thinks that with his technical eye, his opinion, Steven Adams and Yaya Mohammed, Momo Mohammed will be making the squad for Brazil 2014. You beg to differ, and what do you think? And that is the Chan. What do you also think? Yesterday you saw them play. This is the assistant coach of the Boga Black Stars. Right? That distinction, James, which one is the Boga Black Stars?
They are the foreign-based players.
Oh, okay, that is the Boga Black Stars.
Those who come to play and tell us that they are sacrificing playing for us, which is not true. Which Opari has debunked on several occasions. Because we pay them when they come. The last time they played against Egypt, they collected a whooping $15,000 per player. Even those on the bench, tax-free, everything. And the money was paid, according to Ajman Bedu, was credited to his account. I think that Sunday, or it was a Tuesday match.
Yes.
I think by Wednesday, the money was already in the account.
And that is why we didn't see money being distributed in Egypt. That's why we did. Okay. We'll come back to that. So you're still on the sports review on a Saturday morning. We're looking at the Chan squad and quickly looking at the situation where we started discussing who makes the squad to Brazil 2014. Is it a player who is playing active? Is it a player who has the name? He's a player who has moved to a club, but he's still not playing. What is the criteria? Kusiapia, is he confused? The FA comes in to rebut, and the reports comes out, and it's let me start from James, from his own quarters, and maybe he will really... James,
sir.
You had an issue, you've read about the issue.
Yes.
Ebokweto is a renowned, respectable journalist.
And a younger brother, too.
Okay.
He's very close.
And his headline was, solid.
Yes.
And I quickly asked a colleague, I just picked it and pasted it on my site.
Straight.
That is myjournalline.com.
Yes.
And people started calling me, Tony, where from the story? I said, There is a source there.
Yes.
It's from Graphic. And the man who wrote it, it's a book too.
Yes.
And when you read with a Q&A, it was a solid one.
Yes. You know, Ebo has been around for a long time. And when they were writing this African Sports, that magazine, he was very, very active as a columnist. I think with Maurice Kwanzaa, and then later they were joined by Mark Ekwe. They have the Andy Kwao.
Yeah.
And they have this strong team in the graphic sports, which the team I respect so much, with their head as Felix Abaite. This issue, I dealt with it in 1982. When I give dates, then Opari will be questioning me for the dates. In 1982, I wrote an article, asked Joseph Kano.
What was the headline?
Selection of players for matches. Should coaches be given a free hand? And I said it is inversely related. If a team is doing very well, then the management or the GFA in this case do not need to interfere. But when the team is not doing well, they have the rights. I don't know why President Yatechi is keeping off. He should let
trying
the coach,
to be an ostrich.
No, he should let the coach know that if player A, you choose player A, and we think it's not good, he is not going.
So why is he running from his own?
Now what I'm saying is that today I'm giving him the confidence, President. If you think player A,
be bold.
Yeah, be bold. If you think player A is not qualified to be in the team, he should not be taken. It's as simple as that.
But that is interference in football.
That is the meaning of football. That's the meaning of the teamwork. I told you the other time here, at the airport, President Paul Biya called the coach that Roger Miller should join the team.
Of Cameroon?
Yeah, of Cameroon.
In 1990?
Yes, 1990.
He had then retired.
No, 1994. Don't make me
No, he started in 1990. 1990 was the same issue.
He was a star.
He had then retired in 88.
Then they brought him, but he was part of the team. But 1994, he was not part of the team. And that young man, I've forgotten his name, he's a Rastafarian.
Makanaki.
He's not Makanaki. He's a Rastafarian, he's a midfielder. He stopped playing since then. And I want to let you know that in 1994, Clemens Westerhoff, the coach of the Super Eagles, said he's taking Babangida along. And the authorities said, no, Babangida should not. Do you want to drop George Finidi and take Babangida to the... Then the coach said, yes. Then the authorities too said, no. So what happened is that they got private sponsors to foot Babangida's trip as a fringe player. So what I'm trying to say is that me, as an individual and as an sports administrator and somebody who has grown up in football, if a player A is not qualified to go and the coach picks him, we drop him. If player A we think has an inspiration, like Abedi Pele in those days.
But then Mr. Kosapia will not be fully in charge of the blood.
How can you be fully in charge? That's the question I asked in 1982. Maybe you don't look at the date, 2014 to 1982. Look at the time I saw this problem. So in short, what we are saying is that if you think that Waris, Fatah Dauda, and Michael Leeson are the core players, take them along.
Why?
But if you think, you don't understand, then we, the GFA, will decide whether they are qualified to go or not.
But if they
because Claude Leroy, 208. I was here.
When did they
he said his first player is Larry Kingston. I mean, we kept quiet because we thought Larry was good. But when the other coach came to the World Cup, what happened? He dropped Larry Kingston. At the last minute.
Yeah.
Then the other day, I wanted to call one House of Folk player who qualified the team to the World Cup but didn't go. Quay, what's the name?
Dan Quay.
Dan Quay. You know, last week I couldn't remember the name. So sometimes decisions are taken based on other, they call it exogenous factors. So factors outside the team. So I think Kwesi Nyantakyi should be bold enough to tell Ghanaians that we are going to make the final selection. We are not going to interfere with the coach picking 11 players, okay? But we are going to interfere in the 23. The 23 that will go, we will determine the 23. I'm telling you, the 23.
But if the coach disagrees, if Michael A. coach decides that Michael Essien, if he should even move to AC Milan, and it's not consistent, and coach decides that he's dropping him, would FA say that Michael should move?
Yeah, because he's wearing a coat of good luck and an inspirator. So he should be
But
the
for
team.
the coach, who will be handling the team?
Oh, no, but who pays the coach? Who pays the coach? Who pays the person who pays the piper dictates the tune. If I wanted to play Michael Jackson song, I will pay you and you pay Michael Jackson song for me. If I want Papa Yankee, you play Papa Yankee for me. You, the musician, you don't determine the song that it will suit me. My ears are so clear, and my money is paying for it. The GFA is sponsoring the team to the World Cup. They should interfere in the selection.
Simple put, why do you also think that the FA should be part of the selection for the final today? James has said, question about what President Kwesi, wherever you are, you need to be bold. Yes, maybe you couldn't read through the lines, but you see, I said it here that the man Kwesi is a man of double standard. From what he said, who is going for the World Cup? Some players, some who are clubless but have good luck will go, and some who are.
Don't have a club.
I mean, what are you talking about? You need to be specific. You need to be bold. Opai said it here that but James said there's no coach in this world who has a free hand. You also think so? 1760. Later on, the phone lines will be activated for you to also join the contribution. Let me get to the realistic Opai, the critical Opai, who has raised this issue. Opai, you will not be surprised.
Tony, I'm not the least surprised at all.
At all?
Yes.
Because you've been drumming it.
I said it several days, several months ago that
the FA should come out.
That it was happening, right? And when Kwesi Appiah was not able to make an emphatic statement, immediately I knew that there was something wrong somewhere. Tony, you see, do you think that, I just want to do a little comparison. I'll jump to Uncle James, then we'll tackle the issue itself. Do you think that if Kwesi Appiah were to be Fabio Capello, when John Terry was stripped off the captaincy armband
without telling him,
because of some things he did outside football, do you think Kwesi Appiah would have been able to be bold enough to say that once you have taken the captaincy armband from Azerbaijan, take your team, I am going away? That is the kind of leadership I have always said that we don't have. But sometimes people think that you are only criticizing the Kwesi Appiah. No, far from it. That is the realistic issue here. Tony, if you come out telling us that unless you play 70% of consistent football for your club side, you will not be able to be in my team. Finish. Period. When you go to England, they tell you that. They used to say that unless, especially the African players and the foreigners, unless you play at least 70% of good before you be able to play in the English Premier League. It means that they want exceptional quality. Period. Nothing again. So if you tell us that, look, I will pick only players who play consistently, we are happy with that, and that is how we will wish that it will go forever. But it comes to a period that we find players, even clubless players, were playing in the team. We spoke about it several days, several weeks.
Which players were that?
Samuel Inkum had no club, but he was playing consistently. And at one point in time, I think the game before, right after the Zambia game, Kwesi Appiah in an interview said
but don't you think
Samuel Inkum was one of his best players.
But I don't think Samuel Inkum was an exception because he sacrificed for this country.
Tony, who hasn't sacrificed? You come and I pay you, say sacrifice.
Okay.
I pay you 15,000. You say it's a sacrifice.
Samuel Nkum lost his regular playing place when he decided to qualify.
If you are competent enough, when you go back,
qualify the team for all African games.
Good, Tony. I don't have any problem with that. People say it is sacrifice. I know how people approach that issue. But let me ask you another question. If a player like Neymar decides to stay off Barcelona to go and help his team qualify for whether it's under 23, whether it's under what, and he comes back to Barcelona, wouldn't he be able to fight for his place?
Yeah.
One, if you come in and you are not being able to fight for your place, then it means that you have a problem with the coach. You have to jump away. And if you jump away...
But if everybody knows that supporters know you are good, nobody will...
That is the issue here. I always say that, Tony, I have observed football for some period now, and I have decided that if one day I happen to be a big club owner, I will never take back a player who's gone to Europe and decided to relaunch his career. No, I will not do that.
Why?
You know why? Between myself, I mean, teams in Ghana and teams in Europe, England, who will pay better?
Europe.
Good.
Europe will pay
Good.
better.
Who has better medical facilities?
Europe.
Good. Who has better technical direction?
Europe.
Europe. So if they are able to observe all of that, and yes, still, if it is not a matter of hatred, but the individual tells you that because of this injury, you might not be able to play any active football.
The rest of
I
your
do not
life.
like you again. Go back.
Why
should I waste my time to come for you?
But
if I want to build my team.
We have players who have relaunched their career when they come
That
out.
is why I'm saying that sometimes it is exceptional cases. You understand? If it is based on performance, Tony, most times, 90% of the players that come back here wanting to relaunch their career, they don't get back. The list is there. 90% of the players who come back here in the local league They fail. They are not able to get back to Europe, to the big leagues, probably where they were playing before. Sometimes, at most, they move to India,
Thailand,
Cyprus,
Greece.
All of those places.
No,
you don't play football in those areas. Thailand, Vietnam, South Africa.
Oh. But South
we are
Africa.
talking about serious business football.
South Africa Division 2. Santos.
John Pentel is playing.
Santos Division 2.
Okay. Operator, hold on. Operator is on fire, but it seems that my producer, my director tells me that we need to go for a commercial break. And when we come, but the debate is still on. You watch the time team, and we are looking about the statement by Kusinya Ntechi. I said it here, that if you can't make clear statements, hey, then you're a person of double standards. You need to insist on what you say. Let me go for a commercial break. When you come back, we move straight into action again. Line now. People are waiting to call in. Hey, and the discussion is still on. We're looking at the chanting and Kusinya Ntechi's statement. Operator, back to you.
Yes, Tony. The issue here is that if the FA, and in fact, Sanidara, because I am saying Sanidara because he is the communications person of the FA, so definitely he would have come out with all of this.
Rebata.
Yes. But, Tony, I would have wished Sanidara were to be here, right? Because this was a direct question from Ebekwetu
to the
president, which said that, look, Tony, he did ask him that whether all inactive players will be considered for selection for the World Cup. Whether inactive players will be considered for selection for the World Cup. It was straight. You could have given a definite answer. No.
No. That is it.
Then you close the door.
That is it. You close all ends. No exclusion, no clauses.
That is all. But if you go ahead to say that rule will be tempered with, yes, that rule will be tempered with some exceptions in exceptional circumstances.
And what are those exceptional circumstances?
It all depends on the caliber of player involved, his experience and input when he plays for the Black Stars. Then we can consider him. If you tell us this, that
means a certain Stephen Appiah could be brought in.
Good. Then it means that it doesn't matter whether the player plays football anywhere, because you are telling us that his input for the Black Stars, you are not looking at his daily or his weekly input for his club side. Now he's looking at his input, even if he's inactive, wherever he is. His input for the Black Stars. Then he goes on to say that if you have a club and you don't play, it is different from somebody who doesn't have a club at all. That makes it difficult, and in that case, the coach has to explain why. If you know that the coach has to explain why would you have to tell us that rule will be tempered?
You said it. James, you are an administrator.
Oh, yes, I said it. I said I have a clear direction.
So it means that a certain Stephen Appiah could easily join the team.
Oh, sure.
Because
I said
from what he has said, it means something different from what Kwesi Appiah also told us. Because Kwesi Appiah did say that players should be playing regularly for their club sides to stand any good chance of playing for the national team. In fact, his team. Right? Then he went on to say that Majid Waris, Fatah Dauda, Michael Essien, whether they play
untouchables.
Yes.
They could be injured, they could be inconsistent, they could play for Tudu Mighty Jets.
Yes. Wherever they find themselves, once they are fit, they will play for him.
The Catman says I should tell you you're on fire.
Tell him to prepare some cartoons. Tony, then it means that what Kwesi Appiah has said is different from what Nyantechi is also telling us. And what Nyantechi is telling us, it means indirect interference. If he doesn't know, he's a lawyer, so he can interpret it better.
Better.
And whoever wrote this rebuttal defending Nyantechi, I am not sure that individual read this well. Tony, it's the same thing I was telling you earlier on, that if I come to you telling you that, Tony, what you did was very stupid this morning. Yes,
very stupid.
Very stupid this morning. Then somebody
also comes.
James walks to you to say that, don't mind Opari, but I think
you could have been a little bit intelligent.
If you had applied a little sense, you would have gotten it better. It's not the same amount of insult.
Sacked,
and in fact,
fired,
that one
appointment terminated.
Yes, in fact, that one is even a silent one, which will hurt you more. It's the same thing. So why are they trying to defend it? If you tell me that it will be tempered, probably, Tony, if you can get Sanidara to ask him that, what does the word temper means?
Maybe we need some grammarians. Maybe Mandada, who is always specific with language, will tell us what.
If you say you want to temper with something, what does it mean? It means that, I'm not quoting direct from the dictionary. It means that if you have a rule which runs straight from here to your end, and you want to tamper with it, it means that some part of the lane will not go as the original rule. At least you tamper with part of it, right? And if you tamper with it, it means that you are interfering with the flow.
So definitely you have an impact in the selection of players.
Yes. Tony, I did say...
So why, in the nation, why is Kwesi running away from this?
Kwesi Nyantechi. Tony, he has this. He realized soon after that publication that he goofed a lot. If I were to be his communication,
but James says he should be bold.
Yes. That's what I was going to say. If I were to be his communication advisor, Tony, I would have done two things. First, I'll keep quiet, or I will keep quiet, not respond to anybody who comes back to me on this issue. You understand? Whoever wants to interpret it anyhow can go ahead to interpret it. You understand? Okay. Or I will tell the whole world that, look, if the manager fails, part of the blame will also hit me as the FA president.
Okay.
So why would I sit unconcerned for him to bring, say, some Emmanuel Frimpong somewhere? I'm just using him as an example. Say some Emmanuel Frimpong somewhere who we all know might not be able to get it done. You understand? Or why would the FA sit unconcerned to say that, look, if we don't get Emmanuel Frimpong on board, we will not be able to find our team moving very well.
Okay.
You don't have to sit back. Tony, whoever tells you that amount of interference is not part of football, that individual is lying.
It's not true.
It's lying. That individual doesn't know football.
James said he wrote an article in 1982.
82, yes.
Tony, whoever says that, club owners, club chairmen, and in this instance, the FA do not interfere
with player selection.
Or if they want to, maybe for good use of words, right, for proper use of words, they will want to say contribute.
So are you saying, in a nutshell, do you think that selection of players for Brazil 2014 will be difficult?
Tony, I don't...
Players have started moving.
With what Kwesi Nyantechi has said here, with what Kwesi Appiah has also said, I am sure between now and when the squad is
let me announce my phone lines before you continue. 03022111705, 03022111706, 03022111704. Any of these lines, you can also join us. You've heard the debate. You can also join us because Ghana, the Black Stars, is ours. Don't think that the Ghana Football Association, your tax is the taxpayers, man. Let me tell you something. When you even buy granules, you are taxed. If you don't know, indirectly, James will tell you, he's an economist. He will tell you. It is your money that is being paid. It's used to pay the Black Stars. When they travel, they go per diem. It is your money. Don't think that the salary you take is the salary.
And yes, they tell us it's a sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice. You think that if you want to be paid, you'll be paid extra. So don't worry. Okay, let me before I come to Operation trying to. Good morning. Ibrahim from Bolga.
Hey, every day.
Yeah, good morning.
Can you raise up your voice?
Good morning.
Morning, Ibrahim. What do you offer us this morning?
I think what Opari is saying is very true. It's very true. Nyatechi and the coach should be very bold in their decision because this World Cup is going to mean a lot for us. And the way things have started going now, I don't think we can go into it forward with this. So I think they should accept the criticism and do what is right. And Opari should be bold. He shouldn't let anybody confuse him in whatever agenda he's carrying through. So that's my submission this morning.
Thank you. Is it Ibrahim or Ridwan? Okay, Ibrahim. Thank you very much. They say you should be bold. Okay, so can you finish your submission?
Yes, Tony. I was going on a point that Kwesi Nyantakyi knows very well that even in his own Wild Stars, he will not shut up for something to go wayward, right? If you do contribute, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are interfering. But it is because that is where your interest is as well.
That's why you put
so you also have to ensure that at least you contribute in helping the coach.
You want results.
You want results. Because if you do not get the results, the blame will also come back to hit you.
Okay.
You understand? But where the fear is that, Tony, if I select James and another player for you as the head coach, why do you have to present that list to come and defend the player I selected for you in front of me?
Okay, let me right unfortunately my text line, my text console is not working. So Theo from Asorida, you can just give me the WhatsApp. I don't want to put my WhatsApp line down, but later I'll do that when my producer Bebli looks for another ship that will be looking to put them out there. So you can also right unfortunately just join the call band because it seems our text console is not 1760. It's not working. So let me go to Techima. Nicholas, sorry for holding on. Nicholas, good morning. What do you have for us?
Good morning, my dear panel. I'm very great when I hear Opale and my old man there. You see, when people talk of sacrifice, why in 10 minutes you are earning $15,000. Don't mention the dollar. Convert to cities for our old people around this village.
320 million.
320 million for 10 minutes, and you call this sacrifice. Where's Anthony Anai? He played for Blaster previously. Now where is he? He too sacrificed for this nation. So can we say that Anthony Anai has sacrificed? So now we need Anthony Anai. Because this Marinkum is not playing. When you talk of it, people in their own particular interest, you know those people, they're from Kotoko, they will agitate. This man has sacrificed, this man has sacrificed, this man has sacrificed. Then they push that man there. After getting that money, then they go and share with them. Back to the local blaster.
Please, you can't substantiate.
When people start blaming the heart of folk defender, then we also start blaming how many Kotoko players are in this team. You see, the core of the team, the fall of the team, based on the core of the team. So when you start agitating for a fall of a one player, then we also start agitating for how many Kotoko players are in this team. So they should stop bragging and stop making noise of somebody has sacrificed for this nation. What sacrificial work did they even do? Bye.
Okay, Nicholas, thank you from Techima. Let me go straight to Tema, the Harbour City. Who do I have from the Harbour City?
Yeah, this is Emmanuel.
Ima, God be with us. I know. What do you have for us this morning?
Oh, yeah, I just want you to say hi to my father, Mr. Oyedeji.
James Oyedeji. Okay.
But first of all, the CHAN competition, I've not had the opportunity to watch our two matches because when it was played, I was at work.
Okay.
And I think they have to change one or two things in the team.
Okay.
And also about Nyantakyi issue.
Yeah.
He admitted that he said all those things, but he denied paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 and paragraph 3. That he said he did not say. But the rest, he admitted that
he said it.
He said all those things. So what I urge Mr. Opare that he should just exercise a little patience so that this matter will be solved once and for all. Because the person admitted he said some of them, but not all. So I think the station also asked for the tape his voice so that they will check through and find out who is at fault and who is not at fault.
Okay.
So please, Mr. Pai, I will just tell you to.
Okay. Opai is going through by the inscriptions that we have here. They've rebutted. They've also quoted what the man said. So we're analyzing what it actually said. What Ibukuti wrote, we also saw it. So that is it. Okay. Thank you very much. The man also says that, James, do we need to go for the tape or it is all written?
Oh, it is all written. I mean, it's not. It was a public discussion and a public publication.
And it's a national paper.
Yes, it's a national paper. And anywhere you go, any embassy you go in the world, the Ghanaian embassy, the paper is there.
Okay.
So we don't need to waste time. Somebody will say we don't need to waste saliva on this matter.
Okay.
Now let me explain something.
And James, let me pick the next caller before I come to. Who is on the line?
Yeah, it's Akumale from Tamale.
Yeah, Shaibu, what do you have for us this morning?
Yeah, what Opare is saying is directly true. Yeah, and I will just emphasize him to continue saying whatever he is saying. Yeah, and I only hope that the GFA president will not select any of the the players on parochial interest. Because whatever is used to pay the players are our tax. So we only hope that he will do his best to select the good players for them to go for the World Cup.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll probably say you keep on it. James, you wanted to push in something?
Yeah, I wanted to do some education on economics.
Okay.
You mentioned, you used a very good example of a groundnut.
Yeah.
That's what we call the inelastic demand. Yes, so no matter the change in price, you don't feel it much. And as for the taxpayer, is the one whose income has been deducted compulsorily, understand, for the general good of the nation, goods and services. So I'm urging Ghanaians to speak out because the U.S. Government has started speaking out about the match. If we don't win that first match, it will be a disaster for us.
Okay, so it's still on. You can also join us 030-2211-705, 030-2211-706. You're still on the sports review. Open back to you.
Yes, Tony. I also wanted to ask a question that between now and probably end of May, when the squad will be named, do you happen to see any player that can emerge from somewhere that we don't probably know now?
It is possible.
Yes.
There's been in and out.
No, I'm not talking about players that have, for example, like a certain Derek Boati or Antoniana, not that kind of player.
But
a
an
player
exceptional
who hasn't
player.
played before, like how we got hold of Majid.
We have a deadly striker in Israel who is scoring good goals.
Yes, Tony.
But it's not possible.
That is where I am driving at. I am thinking that between now and then, if anybody will want to break into the 23-man squad, that individual will have to do something exceptionally beyond what those ones we know have already done.
A certain Messi.
Yes. If not, the squad will come from the same players that probably in and out. I don't see any player coming in somewhere that we don't probably know from anywhere. That individual might have done something exceptionally well. So far, like you are telling me, there has been a player somewhere in Israel scoring the goals week in, week out. Probably Kwesi Appiah will have to go in there and monitor. We also have certain players. Tony, you see, that's another bother to me. Why is it that we have most players playing in Europe, right? Ghanaian players playing consistently with their club sides. No fault. Good football. But yet still, they don't even get that invitation
James,
to play in a friendly match.
I'm surprised. I can't even understand what is happening to the champ Kwame Kwanzaa.
Tony, that is why I once told you that. Do you know that it is a fact? I know somebody will tell me that we defend it. I will defend it wherever they want us to travel to. When anytime Kwesi Appiah, prepares his list, after defending it before the FE, it is taken to the minister before it is approved.
Oy.
What kind of system is this?
Can you
Tony, I am not lying. I've always told you that I don't like speculating.
It is true. You don't speculate, but I don't know about that.
Yes.
But
It is my own responsibility. It is not the responsibility of multimedia. It is my own personal responsibility.
Is it that it started this freer era or since?
That era had been there.
The minister must have a look.
Yes.
Who is making the squad?
And you have to go and defend.
I'm in front of the minister.
Yes. Why is Uncle James included in the squad?
Let me go to Lima. I have Olabode from Lima. Ola, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
How are you, Tony?
I'm fine, and you too?
Yeah, how is my good brother Opari, and then the good old man, the historian.
Oh, he's here.
James.
Oyedeji.
Yeah, Oyedeji. It's a very nice man. I like his history.
Okay.
He speaks like Chino Achebe.
Okay.
In fact, if we are not careful, we'll go to Brazil and will not perform. The reason why I'm saying this is when you follow the trend, like yesterday's match. In fact, I've been telling my friends that the core players that went to South Africa, playing in South Africa, in fact, they are not good. They are not good. They are not performing. Right from the first match, I told my colleagues, I said, we are not going to perform. Mark it. When we begin to talk this way, it is like we are going to Brazil, in fact, not to perform.
Okay.
The match between Ghana and USA is a match of our life. And we must take the match very serious.
Okay.
But Ghanaians, it's like we speak too much. We talk too much. Instead of us to concentrate, pray for the players and then the coach, so that at the end of the day, Ghana will go far. In fact, we will try to criticize, we will try to talk, and then make sure that at the end of the day, we don't perform. So it is on this that I want to plead with all Ghanaians, that they should allow the coach to do his work.
Okay.
They should give him the space to do his work. In fact, we're all watching. Any slip, Ghanaians should not be happy with the team. I'll tell you. Because football is our life.
Yeah.
We adore football, we love football, and we cherish football. Like James has been saying. And for that matter, we will not forgive Jan Techi and the coach in the slip. Because World Cup is a place, Brazil is a place where we all want to go and watch. So please, they should take the matches very serious. Let us stop doing the talking and pray for the Black Stars. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
Thank you very much, Olabode. Let me go to Ibrahim from Somanya. Ibrahim, what do you have for me this morning?
Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Ibrahim.
I'm Abraham calling from Somanya.
Okay.
I will talk about the local Black Stars.
Okay, quick one.
I don't know why Abanga was not taken. Because if you look at Kotogos Akwafu, is it better than Akubi Abanga?
I can't judge. I don't have a technical.
Look at this more, what is the Impong, or what is the name?
Yeah, from Impong.
Yeah. Yesterday, he wasn't playing anything. Even House of Folk, the small one in House of Folk, for Kwabena, can play that position well. Why is he not talking? And look at the Burger Blaster you are talking about. They are talking about, you are saying some people are sacrificed. What have this current Burger Blaster achieved for Ghana? And they are always pampering them. They are pampering them. The Macalisian, what have they achieved?
Raised another sensible issue.
Ghana, the coach should come again.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me go to Ima from Georgia in the Volta region. He's my last caller for this morning. Ima, what do you have for me? Ima from Georgia.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ima.
Good morning, Tony. How is the old man and my good friend Opari?
He's fine.
I want to speak about our goalkeeping department.
Okay.
In fact, I really have my comments about this Fatah Dauda every day.
Okay.
What has Adam Kwarasi done that our coach and the technical team think is a mistake that he cannot recover from? That they would have to be featuring Fatah Dauda even if he's inactive in his club. Forgotten that this Adam Kwarasi guy has been a captain in his team, performing and has won a league even there. And you think that mistake he made, even a single mistake, you think he cannot recover from it. But I don't know what they are doing there. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's my last call. But quickly, I have some text message on my WhatsApp. Tony, why the GFA boss acting like an ostrich? You should call a spade on the local Black Star. Yaya is shambolic, and the whole Kotoko Black Stars is a bomb. Is it a Kotoko local Black Star?
Yes, that's what it seems.
It seems
with 8 players.
Oh, James, you agree that it's a Kotoko local Black Stars?
But that's what David Duncan said, and he brought a lot of problem between the coaches. He said that.
But I quite remember 2011 when Hebetado was going to Sudan. He took a Diana dominated.
And what was the result?
Diana and Chelsea.
Chelsea dominated.
Chelsea dominated. And what was the result? It was a disaster.
So this is a Kotoko dominated.
Yeah, it is clear. You can see the list.
So it's true.
It is
yes,
true.
It is
true.
You
have the list.
Nobody should hide it behind it.
No, you have the list. Or you don't have the list.
From Yaya Mohammed.
One funny thing is that those who do the selection, especially for this Chan team, they always want us to believe that they see football better than everybody. You understand? If they monitor football, what do we also do? We also sit back to monitor football.
Okay.
But one
James,
that I like about
one
thing I like about our discussion is that we have always hit the point.
That is today for me. I think that James has been engaged on opposite to wherever he is. We'll know that today James is not on his side.
So you see, point A, Opari, the populist view, what people want to hear, the truth. Then me, the balancing. And you, the coordinating. I think we deserve some national award.
All right, finally, before we take leave of the show.
Yeah, Tony, I don't think it is too late for Maswa Kunedu to produce some magic. If not, you see, it will bring back the issue of what amount of support does he give to Kwesi Appiah. We have to see that support you give to Kwesi Appiah reflecting in your own team. You understand? If not, everybody will begin to ask that. What amount of support do you give to him? I think he has to. If he needs to.
So if he should fail, should he be knocked out of the Boga Black Stars?
Tony, if you fail, you have failed.
So you should not come back to Black Stars.
That one, because he is the assistant manager, it doesn't make so much difference.
No, but he will give that knowledge. What is the role of an assistant? Because if you have a block-headed person partner in a ball, it's like a quiz
you
show.
See, if you begin to say now that if Kunedu fails, he should be kicked out.
We'll come to that because next week maybe it will be a major topic. Whether Maxwell Kunedu should be kicked out. But this morning, I mean, you've been part of the show, the production team made by Bebli and Ajingo, who was late today, I would say. The camera team, Saki was here. And the bread master was, the director himself was, I mean, for my director, he has been solid. And I think that, but before I leave, good morning to everybody. My sweet, fresh daughter, Princess Antoinette Safako, Bebli.
She's sleeping now.
And Esther, I mean, that's my sweet daughter. And I know by now she'll be sleeping. And this is our daughter, catch you next week, the same time. But keep on following. When it is all the exclusives, go straight to my Joe Online sports page. Just click it and you get all the exclusives. And I tell you, you will not like to read any story. And when you want all the issues, just go there and you get all the exclusives, as I just said. So, as the Portuguese will say, obrigado, calimambo, a wiedersehen, as the German will say, bye-bye.